Hello, Javid. It's really nice to see you again after a long time. How are you, Javid?
I'm doing great. How about you? I'm so glad to see you again.
I'm fine. I just have a runny nose today, so I'll be going like this. And Annie, how are you today? Are you in a good mood?
Yeah, pretty good.
Right,
Even though
that's
it's
very
off the cuff.
important. Yeah. So nobody has seen this book. I found it in my resources, and it's called Jane Eyre. Jane Eyre. And it's by Charlotte Bronte. Now, this is a classic, which means it has been going for generations, people reading this literature in England. Can you see a picture more or less of the author? You can see when the book is set many hundreds of years ago. Look at the hairstyle and the dress. You and I, Annie,
Yeah.
I don't think we would like to dress like that because we would be very tight and unable to move, no?
Yes.
So let's start. Could you do me the favor, Javid, and start to read? Off we go. We're going to find out a little bit about Charlotte.
Yes, about the author, it's Charlotte Bronte was
Bronte,
born on 21,
the
yeah,
21st.
21 century, 21st April 1816. She lived in the north of England. She had four sisters, but she was clever and she had a strong character. She wrote many novels, such as The Professor, Shirley and Villette.
Oh,
However, her most important novel is Jane Eyre.
right. So this book has been adapted for beginners. So the original could be a little more difficult, but this is for beginners. So Charlotte Bronte was born on the 21st of April, 1860. So now we know the time she lived. She lived in the north of England. I'm from the north. The north is Liverpool, Manchester, Newcastle, for example. She had four sisters, but she was clever and she had a strong character, just like our friend Annie, who has a strong character. And she wrote different books, her most famous being Jane Eyre. This is another photograph of maybe of how she looked. Right, Annie, your turn. Can you read what you can see on the screen?
About the novel, Jane Eyre is based on Charlotte Bronte's life. It happens in the 1830s. It takes place in the north of England.
Right, so here we can see all the characters that are going to come into the story, right? So Jane Eyre will be the main character, and then you can see the faces on the people who are in the story. They look very serious and not very friendly, right? So now we're going to chapter 1. Are we ready, Javid? You can start and I will help you when necessary.
Okay, my story begins in 1825. I was 10 years old. My father and my mother were dead. I live with my aunt and uncle. Uncle me, Mr. and Miss Mr. Reed, their house was called Guest Head Hall. The house was in Yorkshire,
Yorkshire.
Yorkshire, in the north of England. My aunt and my uncle Need had two children, a boy John and a girl Eliza. I liked my uncle Reed and he liked me. But in 1825 my uncle died. After that I was very unhappy. My aunt Reed did not like me, and John and Eliza were unlike to me. It was
So we get the idea that she lived with her auntie and uncle and her two cousins. And when her uncle died, her life became unpleasant and she was very sad. Okay, continue, please.
It was a cold, rainy day in December. All of us were in the house. I wanted to be alone. I wanted to read. I opened a book. Then I heard my cousin John's voice. John Eyre. Where
Jane
are you?
Eyre, Jane Eyre.
Jane Eyre. Where are you? Jane shouted. He came into the room and he saw me.
Right, so he doesn't sound like a nice little boy. He sounds like he's sad. So first of all, Annie, can you see the picture?
Yes.
And what do you think we see in this picture?
The girl pulling his hair, and the other one standing behind the old woman. I don't know, is she?
Right,
Maybe
so we can
the
imagine
aunt?
this woman is the aunt. And in which room are
Okay.
they? Are they in the kitchen, the living room, the garage? Which room are they in?
With room where sorry, could you repeat?
Are they in the garage, the kitchen, or the living room?
I think it's in the living room.
Because what is this? Do you know the name of this?
Oh, is it a fireplace?
So this is a fireplace, and this is the mantelpiece, and there are some pictures. So we imagine or presume that it is the living room. And from the very serious face, we think this is the auntie. So this must be Jane Eyre, and she's pulling her cousin's hair, and her other cousin is laughing behind them. So let's see what happens. Off you go, Annie.
Why are you reading my book? He asked. Give it to me. John took the book. He hit my head with it. I screamed. John hit me again. I pulled his hair and I kicked him. Help, help, Mama, John shouted. Jane Eyre is hurting me. And Reed ran into the room. She pulled me away from John.
Right, so even though the person to blame is the boy John, I think Jane Eyre is going to get into trouble. Right, off you go, Javid.
John hit me with a book. I said, I hate him and I hate you too. You are a bad girl. John, my aunt said, why do you hate me? You don't like me? I replied, John and Eliza are unkind to me. I want to leave Guesthead Hall. You want to leave? Aunt Reed said. Where will you go? Your friends are dead. You can't leave alone. Aunt Reed thought for a moment. My friend and my broccoli hearts and the owner of the school. She said, I will send you to the
Brocklehurst
heart
School. So from this paragraph, we gather that Jane Eyre is an orphan because her parents are dead and she lives with her aunt, and her cousins are horrible to her, so they provoke her. And now the aunt has decided to send her away to a private school. Annie, can you read the next one?
All right. A few days later, Mr. Brocklehurst came to Gateshead Hall. He was a very tall man. His eyes were dark and his face was cruel. Jane Eyre, he said to me, God does not like bad children. God punishes bad children, Jane Eyre. God will punish John Reed, I replied. John Reed hits me and he shouts at me. That is not true. You are a liar, Jane Eyre. Mr. Brocklehurst said. You must not tell lies, and you must not live here with your cousins. You will come to Lowood School. You will become a good girl. I want to come to your school, sir. I said, I want to leave this house. Bad girls are punished at my school, Jane Eyre, Mr. Brocklehurst had said. The girls work very hard at Lowood.
Right, so the names are a little difficult, but don't worry. Brocklehurst.
Brocklehurst.
Right,
Okay.
so they're going to, she's going to be sent to a school. And the man has already decided he's going to punish Jane because he has heard so many bad things about her. But even so, she wants to leave the house. Off you go, Javid.
A few days later, Mr. Brocklehurst come to the guest head hall. I will work hard.
Oh.
All right, so there we go. I will work hard. That's where we are now. So Javid has problems with his internet. So I will work hard. I will be a good pupil, Mr. Brocklehurst, I said. 2 weeks later, I left Gateshead Hall. I went to Lowood School. So in this picture, we see Jane having the conversation with Mr. Brocklehurst. And this is the end now of chapter 1. Okay, so we'll leave it there for today. I don't think it was too difficult, no, Annie? Was it difficult?
The difficult one is about to pronounce the name. Brocklehurst.
Brocklehurst. So this happens in any language. Names of places or people are difficult. So we have to learn them individually, but nothing to worry about, because even I have problems knowing how to pronounce English words, names of places, etc. So guys, we're going to leave it there at chapter 1. It's called Jane Eyre. And we now know that she has gone to the special school because her auntie and cousins don't like her. So we'll say goodbye for now, and I will see you again. Toodaloo.
Toodaloo.